The right one, anyway.
Oh, we're live. We're actually on. I just heard a big guitar. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
It looks that way.
Yep.
Are we live? We're. Well, hey there.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody. I love our captions. I've been up for exactly 15 minutes, and Corey and I have been arguing for 13 of those minutes. That's a true story. I've been up since 9:30, 9:40.
I think what we're much to discuss. Yeah. I am grateful for Greg's utterly irrational trust in our institutions.
No, that's not what it is at all.
Completely devoid of any current evidence, trust and dedication to the institutions of the U.S. military. And I mean that. I mean that. There is no reason to still believe it, but you still do. And I love you for that.
Okay, Corey. Okay. I'm grateful for Corey's complete ignorance of the hundreds of pages and essays on the nuclear football, its use, and its proximity to the president.
Oh, no. I'm well aware of all that stuff. And
there's no way those guys are lying. No fucking way.
They wouldn't know. They believe it.
Absolutely.
They believe it.
If he's really sick, there are doctors and medical personnel in and out of wherever he is, whether it's in the residence or in the Oval.
Of course.
Constantly. That guy, and it's actually more than one. There's a rotation of officers from each branch of the service, except maybe the Coast Guard. I don't know. That are with the president night and day, 24/7, 365. They sit outside the bedroom door in the residence during the night.
Yeah.
They're always there. There is no way those guys are getting fooled about what's happening with the president, because nuclear confrontation ensues if they get it wrong. There's no way those guys are being hoaxed.
Maybe.
Also, the Secret Service. Also, the 100 or so White House staffers that are not beholden to the president.
Did you know, though, that a Navy doctor, one of these doctors of which you speak, not only said that a 370-pound man weighs 260 pounds, but is also the
I'm
healthiest.
Not talking about the doctors.
The healthy. You just did. The healthiest septuagenarian in the history of the universe.
Wait now. What I said was the guy that is holding the nuclear football briefcase, which is a Halliburton 45-pound briefcase with a radio transmitter in it.
I love it.
Is
made by Halliburton? That's a whole other discussion.
Right.
Go on.
That person is going to see the doctors coming in and out or not coming in and out. And if he's not sick, they're not going to be sending medical personnel in there constantly from Walter Reed.
Greg, he tested. All we know for sure is that the sitting president of the U.S. tweeted that he's positive. That's literally all we know right now.
And the presidential physician also issued a statement.
Right,
that both the
same
president and the first lady,
physician who said the guy was
on that. You may be right. Right, that may be a manipulable thing. And how awful is it? How awful is it that we live with a fucking president who could compromise our belief in that doctor?
Right. Again, the second that someone credible confirms this, I will shut up. But that has not happened yet, and it's 2 days after the worst debate maybe in the history of fucking debating, and he's down 3 more points when he was already down before. And he's a narcissistic psycho who would never, ever, ever want to lose. And now he's got it out. Now he can just say, "Oh, I can't really do. Oh, geez,
in order for
and
a
he
hoax
doesn't
like
get
this
creamed in an election.
Successful, there's just too many people that have information and access here.
That hasn't been confirmed. We don't know that, right? And what we do know is that they're willing to accept unbelievable, ridiculous lies 24 hours a day. That's what we know for sure. We know that.
Oh, I'm not telling you that I don't think he would lie about it, or that his inner circle of awful henchmen would lie about it for some political purpose. I just don't think they could pull it off. I just do not think the scrutiny level of the president by the people that make decisions about launching nuclear fucking weapons is tight enough that they.
Because another point that I brought up, because you might be right about that, right? And I obviously am dubious, but let's concede that point. The Pentagon would react, and you guys don't know this because we're just continuing our argument from before.
We haven't even looked at the comments yet. This is
right.
Just
what there's other people here. So the Greg was showing me that the Pentagon is doing some like high alert stuff, right? And it's the kind of thing that they do when something gets a little bit teetery, in the U.S. government or whatever, and okay, you explain that part.
Okay, there are aircraft that are launched when the president is incapacitated or it's possible that a nuclear strike is on the way. And these aircraft are capable of communicating with our nuclear missile submarines, not just nuclear submarines, but the ones that actually launch our ICBMs at other places. They are capable of communicating with those subs while they are underwater. Okay, and even if Washington, D.C. has already been nuked, they're capable of transferring command authority to launch missiles to all of our nuclear forces. They launched 2 of them at 1:45 in the morning, one in California, one in Washington, D.C., and they went up in a way that they were visible on commercial radar. That's a message to all the nuclear powers in the world that have ship-launched ballistic missiles and ICBMs. Don't fuck with us. We are paying attention. And we've been doing that for 50 years. That's that. But not just when something gets teetery, when the president might be in danger. The last time we did that was when George W. Bush got on Air Force One after 9/11, right? The last time these planes were launched, that was how serious the situation was. They don't do this just because.
And here's the thing. The president of the United States tweeted that he was positive for a deadly disease. Out loud. That's enough. By itself. No confirmation, no nothing. They have to trust the president because he's the president. Right? Like they would react in exactly the same way, whether it was true or not, because the perception of weakness might make North Korea think they could nuke us. And so you put the planes up there.
Well, when he dies next week, we'll know for sure.
Well, okay. I have one data point from my discussion with Michelle that gives us an in, which I did not know. And this is actually really good news around COVID period. At the VA right now, if you test positive, you have to self-quarantine for 10 days, and then you can actually come back to work. Even if you tested positive. Because they're basically saying that like once you test positive, the capacity for you to shed is only in that first 10-day window, which is amazing news that I was not aware of. So we're going to know now if he's still talking about this in 10 days like it's a problem, he's either actually sick or trying to quit.
Or both.
Right.
Maybe got himself sick on purpose.
That was another thing that I was like I don't even know if we want to talk about that.
If you're going to conspiracy theory me, wait, you believe in the moon?
I know I sound like a psycho, but like this is the thing.
Well, you're not alone because I woke up to 8 million posts about this is all bullshit. He doesn't have it.
This is the thing. Like it fits too perfectly. Like the timing is just a little bit too perfect for me, knowing that he is a caustic, ridiculous fucking liar. He's already 10 points down nationally. He's down in every single swing state except maybe one that like is within the margin of error every once in a while, right? But he's not going to lose. He's going to lose by a lot. Has one chance to change it. People are already voting, and he could like the polls after the debate. He's down in 9 points. Like he got fucking creamed in the debate. Everyone fucking hates him because he's a piece of shit, and we know that he would never quit normally, right? We just know this. And if he's got it out, we're like, oh, this disease killed me. It's not my fault. I got sick, blah, 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 blah. Of course he would fucking do it. Now, there's no way to be certain of that. And I want to wait until Fauci says, yeah, I know he tested positive. Because otherwise, like, we have no credible reason at all to think that this is real.
Yeah, we are. PJ is right. We had a plan to have PJ on this morning to talk about what's been happening in St. Pete with the Antifa protests and BLM protests and the Proud Boys locally. So we'll see if we can get him the link here.
We should try and do that. Yeah. So he said, what does that say about our media culture? That the first thing folks would think is dudes faking men. That has nothing to do with media culture at all.
Nope.
It has to do with 20,000 lies. Right? Like anyone who believes anything that Trump says that isn't corroborated outside is just wrong. They're wrong. I mean, how many times do we have to do this? If Trump says something, it's not true until somebody proves it. And I'm right about that every time. Every time. It's an easy thing to do. Has absolutely nothing to do with our media culture whatsoever. Now, does it have to do with my cynicism? Fucking it does. I completely own that. But yeah, I mean, it's a fucking guy's liar.
Dave, Fauci should come out and announce the POTUS has caught him a case of the Democratic hoax.
I would buy that t-shirt.
Yeah. By the way, do you have can you throw up the picture of the t-shirt? Because I can't do it from my end.
Yes, I should be able to do that. Yeah, Bob said people around me are not calling the debate as bad for Trump. They described the whole thing as a train wreck. They dismissed the whole debate. Yeah, so those people were Trump supporters before. I would bet actual money on that. Because that, anybody who's already in the camp is going to be seeing this through a particular lens, which we've seen a gazillion times before.
Craziness. So, so Dave Myers has a new T-shirt on his T-Public website, and I'm going to throw the link to it in the comments here. I've already ordered 2, one for Donna, one for me.
Nice.
It's extraordinary, and I can't wait
stellar.
to wear this. So timely.
I ordered one myself. They're pro Brian. Interesting. Bob, thank you for that. Thank you for that countermanding evidence. I do love me some evidence. All right, well, as it turns out,
Ted, it's just cynical that we live in a moment where we're not believing the president, we're not believing the press, we're not believing anything anybody says about this issue with this, and that's not an accident. That's how he's steered this whole ship. Rob, I ordered a 3XL, so they go up to 5XL on the chart.
Yeah. That definitely is not an issue. Anyway, it's just soup for my family.
Campbell's soup.
For my family.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could get like a bigger. Nope. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Hello. Allora.
Dave Myers is a genius.
That's just provably true. God damn, that's good.
That's got to be Casey Marion piping up with it. It doesn't matter either way. Just stay tuned. It doesn't matter.
I mean that's true. I mean, yep. I can't argue with that at all.
Virginia, the debate. Did you see the Rudy Giuliani tweet yesterday?
I saw a headline. I didn't even know what that was.
Debate.
Okay,
that was the whole tweet.
Oh, by the way, Chris Hayes' podcast. He did a deep dive into QAnon with a couple of reporters that have been following it for the whole time. It's so much more fucked up than I thought. Like it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, they all want to kill us. Like they literally all want to kill us, which is fun.
Hey, Deb, there's a drop down bar that you can change from men's shirts to women's shirts, and I think they have some other designs, other shirt styles right there on T-Public. So get you one of those. Dave told us this morning if he sells enough of them, he's going to make a donation to the Biden-Harris campaign. So that'd be cool.
Actually, what he said was he's going to make a donation to the Biden-Harris campaign.
So,
which is fine.
I'm one of the things I'm really alarmed about is what if Joe Biden gets sick?
Well, and this is the thing, right? My initial
exposed everybody. Hope Hicks got on a fucking plane knowing she was sick, and potentially infected everybody that was at the debate.
Well, and this is why
I'm furious about that.
The really fucked up theory is that they did this on purpose. And like that's where even I am like, that can't be real. And like, oh really? It's 2020. B, everything is a hoax and everything is bullshit and yada yada yada. 3, how narcissistic is Trump? And how hard would he fight to not look like a loser? Is there anything that he wouldn't do? If so, what? Right? Like, are we having the discussion like, oh, is this the line? Because if this is what we're doing, then it instantly becomes plausible. Ay. Oh wow, chairwoman of the RNC has tested positive for COVID.
She was at the debate.
See, this is the thing. The more people around them that test positive, like that, I'm definitely not saying that he for sure doesn't have it, because we don't know, right? There will be lots of evidence. So anyways, yeah, what, with what Michelle was saying too, with the how he reacts 10 days from now is going to be interesting. Because if he's still saying that he can't come out, he's asymptomatic, but he can't come out after 10 days. That's that's bullshit. The VA isn't even doing that with people that are working with sick people, right? So that might be an interesting sort of data point. Yeah, if Biden tells us he's, we would have no reason to doubt
and
it.
Isn't that an interesting contrast?
I mean, it's the contrast we've been making for checks notes
since
years.
Before there was a Democratic candidate for president. Since long before that. Good point from Laugh Track. She's been busy as hell at work. I don't know how she got time to tune in over there. Trump does not want to quit being president. He currently has taxpayers paying for White House lawyers to defend him from personal crimes issues. Thanks to the crooked DOJ. If he leaves, he will be arrested.
He's going to lose. Like, the data point that we got that's different from last week is that he's going to lose. He's not a little bit close. He's really, really, really fucked. Right? And their internal polling data that came out after the debate will show that. Frank Luntz, not a friend to Democrats, utterly showed that, right? He's fucked. He's completely fucked. Also, we should talk about the fact that we might be picking up a Senate seat in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. For the first time since the late 1800s.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, I heard.
And an African-American.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I heard that an interview with that guy on Lawrence, and he's sharp as hell and like super pissed off that Mississippi sucks so bad and wants to fix it. I like him. Yeah, just watch his Twitter feed. If he stops tweeting, he's sick.
Yeah, Mike Espy is the gentleman in question.
So,
and he is dead even with the white Republican lady that's running for that seat. So,
and Lawrence was saying that late breaking voters tend to break for the challenger. So that's an interesting sort of data point as well. Fucking Mississippi, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, Lelania says Amy Goodman reported staffers said he was tired and seemingly not feeling well on Wednesday.
I mean, coming down from an Adderall overdose is hard.
Virginia has a link from CNBC that Trump was experiencing mild symptoms after coronavirus diagnosis. So that's got to be from last night or this morning, because he wasn't diagnosed until sometime yesterday. Corey, that's why Biden didn't punch Trump. He didn't want to get too close to him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's crazy.
It was interesting that they announced to us that there wouldn't be a fist bump or a handshake.
Why?
Before the debate.
That's not weird at all. It's COVID. That's not even remotely strange.
But the president hasn't shown any. Well, he has for his personal.
Biden wouldn't. Yeah, in his personal space, yeah, Biden wouldn't. And their teams put all this stuff together in advance, which is why everyone was like, "Hey, we should cut his mic off." My first instantaneous reaction: he knows that if he says a fucking another word, he's screwed. He knows if he does one more debate, he's screwed, and the debates will now be canceled. They're going to be canceled now, right? Yeah. So, I mean, what? We just start trusting him now? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Darla Van Meter, Giggle Track, says she saw a report this morning that Pence is negative. Okay.
Is negative as a person. Sorry, that's some weak sauce. It's just not positive.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they're supposed to have the Harris Pence debate on Wednesday. I mean, granted, if they both test negative, that's one thing, but they're gonna have to test literally everybody in the crowd, which they clearly didn't do. So I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, Dave said everyone is reporting he's experiencing mild symptoms. Like, who gives a fuck what he says?
Well, he sniffs all the time anyway. So
right, like that. Like, I'm not. I can't take that as a data point that this is real.
Right.
It's so dumb because honestly, the likelihood with all of the risk factors of how it was inevitable that he would test positive, right? Like that's not crazy at all. Could you DM me that, Virginia? I can never get these things out of the actual comment thread. I would like to see what Mary Trump has to say because she is cool.
I can.
Anyway, thank you guys. You can see it.
I reserve my sympathy, empathy, and despair for those who are sick and those who have died because they were misled, lied to, and ignored. Wear a fucking mask. Mary Trump.
Yeah, that's it, to Casey's point. That's probably all we really need to be talking about today. So there's that. Oh, Jesus, Dave. I mean, like how perfect a rubber stamp to 2020 that the president who killed 200,000 people by just rat fucking the response to this disease then went and checks notes, died from that disease.
Yeah. No, well, nothing bad ever happens at his rallies, Corey. At which point we both yelled, Herman fucking Cain during the debate.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
Ted DeMeyer. Could we literally dig up Walter Cronkite? I'd believe him. Listen, I don't disbelieve the reporters and journalists that cover the White House now. I don't have any particular problem with
this isn't the media.
Efficacy.
They're reporting that Trump says he tests positive for COVID. Right? I mean, the New York Times said, he tests positive for COVID or whatever. That's not crazy. Like that, if I was the media, I would, if I was the media, right? We have 42 friends here, so it doesn't really count. I could say whatever dumb thing I want. And I will. What happened?
There's a tweet from Amanda Carpenter that Virginia just posted. Caitlin Collins points out on CNN that the only reason anyone knows Hope Hicks has COVID is because reporters broke the news. The White House did not release the information. The White House withheld the information and exposed people. Man.
They fucking suck.
They knew she was sick and didn't say so. They knew she was getting on a plane with other people, didn't say so. They knew she was getting on a plane with the fucking president of the United States and didn't say so.
See, that's where the horrible, stupid psycho theory comes in. In a helicopter, in enclosed space. So it's either, and they're doing this on purpose, which is completely insane, but strangely plausible in my mind, just because, what level would they sink to? We don't know. Probably really deep. But on the flip side, maybe they've convinced themselves that it's not an issue, right? Like, could Trump actually lie to himself long enough and get people like happy talking him long enough that it just doesn't matter anymore? Right. That's plausible too, right? Like they could literally just be that stupid. I mean, we've seen tons of evidence of that.
Yeah, Corey and I were talking about this before. I'd get on a plane with her, but I'd wear protection.
Oh my.
Hope Hicks.
Okay. Yeah, right.
She is pretty in a fascist Nazi kind of way. I mean, there was a real pretty Nazi in one of the Indiana Jones movies. I mean, she was beautiful, that Nazi.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This took a turn. What did you guys say?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Beautiful
Nazis. I know we're trying to be kind and we're trying to be generous here, but seeing a photograph of Hope Hicks and Stephen Miller walking shoulder to shoulder across the White House lawn with no masks yesterday, I was like, "Get Stephen Miller, COVID. Get Stephen Miller." That's where my head was at there. I don't know, man.
Oh, Elizabeth said, remember how angry and untouchable Melania looked after the debate? She knew. I mean, I don't know if that follows. I sort of feel like that's just her face.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so this is important. Multiple Biden campaign officials tell me there has been no formal contact from the Trump campaign or the White House to alert them of potential exposure to COVID-19, which again is not surprising.
Man, it's just awful. That's grotesquely awful. Greg is like a bug headed towards a zapper. I don't know.
Hot Nazis.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm guessing that sort of makes sense to me.
Yeah, go toward the lights. Yeah,
everything's fine. Oh, now he's a dead bug.
Sherry Burney says Don Jr. was supposed to be on the Calta show this morning, but his people called last night just before the news broke. Said he couldn't call in this morning because he had no cell service. He was coming to Tampa.
Sure.
That kind of checks out, but
right? Or they're just like the evidence that they're not just quitting because they know now that they can't win is not big.
Yeah.
And I feel like such a weird asshole for saying that. Like Michelle, when I told her what I thought this morning, Michelle looked at me like I was a fucking psycho. And then saw 2 other people say that online. I'm like, oh, maybe you're not a psycho. Oh, cool. You have to go to Facebook for that?
Yeah. I need independent verification that Corey's
and she told me like she just doesn't want to believe that way. And I'm like, I said in the post I don't like feeling like this. It makes me feel I'm not a huge fan of being this cynical at all and sounding like a total conspiracy nut on the internet. That's not how I want to play this at all. But if you strictly go on the evidence that's actually available,
BJ, speaking of pretty fascist, I did take McEnany's classmate from Tampa Catholic. According to the classmate, she's never changed. Yeah. Yeah, she's a local kid. She grew up here.
Yikes. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. By the way, Corey, did you know that because I lived in the country next to Rhodesia when I was a kid, I am also a Rhodes Scholar?
Oh, nice. Nice. Cool. Rhodesia.
I mean, if we're just anything with road in it, apparently now makes you a Rhodes Scholar. So that's awesome. She went to Rhodes College in Tennessee, which is basically the same thing as being admitted to Oxford on an athletic and academic scholarship program that's a century old. Basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sue said he's trained us to think like this. You can't hear 50 million lies and then think this one's the truth. I mean, if I'm like friends with somebody and they lie to me once, I'm going to require evidence probably from that point on. If you lie to me 20 times a day.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What was going on? Was this supposed to be a science show? We did have some science stories.
We did.
Here's some science. Trump's lying unless we get corroborative evidence.
That's not science. That's an opinion.
Nope.
That's as dumb as Sasquatch is real right there.
Hard evidence science. Trump is lying unless we get corroborative evidence is an amazingly fucking fantastic scientific theory that is provable by checks notes every fucking thing he says.
Occam's razor. Simplest explanation is probably true. He's sick
lying.
with COVID because he's been
lying.
exposing himself to people by the tens of thousands every week and not wearing a mask. And nobody in the White House, if you wear a mask in the White House, you get mocked by the president of the United States.
That is a good argument, and I'm here for that. That's not crazy.
Julie wrote, someone just posted this. Don't worry, Trumpers. All this joking about Trump having COVID is just locker room talk.
Show over. Hold on. Please hold. Please hold. Yeah, show over.
Just a way out question, but what happens if 45 gets sick and dies before the election? Mike Pence is installed as president. He becomes, actually the Republican Party will name their candidate. It will inevitably be Mike Pence because he's already on the ballots, which are being mailed out everywhere in America right now. So he will be the president for the last bit of the president's term, and then he will be the candidate. There's no other solution to that at this late date. And let's say they try to name somebody else as the candidate, they won't be on the ballot anywhere. So that would not be a good thing. Yeah.
Yep. Here's your fucking science show. Make fun of masks and don't take a global pandemic seriously, and your ass gets sick. Yeah, and that's the thing. And Pete, and like, you guys are so right about this. Please don't get it twisted. I am not 1,000,000% convinced because obviously we don't have enough evidence for that to be the case. Occam's razor would say, you got it. Remember, Trump is a dude who has to appear tough, not weak at all in any way whatsoever, which is actually my argument for why he's faking being sick so that he can get out of the election that he's absolutely categorically going to lose. Either one of those things could be true. But then you're all right that the number of people that he's been around and his safety procedures have been so unbelievably fucked up wrong that it is entirely plausible that he's actually sick with this disease or that he's contracted it.
Right. Sue, what happens to everybody who's already voted? Good question. Actually, you're voting for the presidential ticket that the Republican Party has put forth. So your vote would still go to Pence if you voted for Trump Pence. That's how that would work.
A font of fucking knowledge this morning.
I could be making all this up. You don't know.
It sounded good to me. See, you don't lie to me though, so I can like take what you say and be like that. Okay, all right.
I don't lie to you.
Oh shit. Okay, has a weird flex.
I'm just full of weird flex this morning. All right. Hey, Grace. While you're here, no, never mind. It was somebody else. This is another Grace that I know. I actually know 3 Graces. That wasn't funny. Them getting COVID really killed the Melania tapes news cycle that broke last night. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Or
no, I didn't. I saw the headline, but
yeah. Who's the woman that came forward with the book about Melania here recently. She has tape recorded conversations, and Anderson Cooper played one last night of Melania complaining about how tough her life is because she had to make all the Christmas decorations happen at the White House, and they wanted her to do more about kids in cages, and she was mad and huffy about it, sounding like a petulant jerk. So
is anyone super shocked? So Josh Kratner at Hotline Josh. Oh, good Twitter name there, buddy. Chris Wallace on Fox. I'm going to say something, and folks, I'm just trying to give you the truth. Scott Atlas is not an epidemiologist. Presumably that's the new healthcare advisor from the president. Yeah, he has no training in this area at all. There are a number of top people in the White House task force who have grave concerns about Atlas. I mean that's
we all know that, Chris Wallace. It's only breaking news to Fox News people.
But
that's only a shocking revelation,
right? Yeah, but no, herd immunity is fine.
He's a radiologist with no epidemiology training whatsoever. He's also the one that, herd immunity. That's how we'll get through this. And what was the country we just saw the numbers from the other day that apparently herd immunity is not helping them because people are getting sick again.
I think it was either Sweden or Switzerland that was doing something to that general effect. And it's not going well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're in cages. Who cares? That was apparently the comment that.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this is a typo, but it's actually kind of funny. Sue. And then he comes out from being sick fast and gets to show the world how strong and viral. I think she meant virile, but of course he won't have had that many debilitating symptoms because it didn't affect him that much. Yada yada yada. Yeah, he comes out like a strong man.
Yeah. That's entirely possible. And I mean, even going for the sympathy vote, I know for a fact there are no depths to which this shithead won't go. We all know that, right? But he has been surrounded by the dumbest people in America who aren't wearing masks and have contact with lots of people. One of which, again, even the whole Hicks thing, good story, bro. Who is reporting that? What's the evidence chain on that? That's just
the what thing? What
for Hope Hicks?
Oh yeah.
Again, if someone credible says it, not just a reporter reporting, sources from the White House say, right? Because sources from the White House say, you automatically, logically presume that that's a lie until you get corroborative evidence. I'm sticking to that because it's worked out really well.
I will have to look back, but I'm pretty sure I read last night that there is contact tracing information on Hope Hicks. So there is actually going to be an evidence trail that they went.
Okay, contact tracing only means that she was near someone who was positive.
Well, but that's an official process. Contact tracing is a scientific process.
Has nothing to do with who read off her positive result at all.
Oh,
right?
Okay. That's just too much bullshit for me.
I get it. I get it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Again,
I'm getting frustrated because it's listen to us. We're buying into the same shit that we warn people against all the time.
Nope. I am demanding credible evidence, as I have always done. That's it. And we don't, as long as the White House is the only credible evidence, you and I both know that there is a significant probability that it could be bullshit.
I think we just infect all of them with bleach, just to be safe.
I am not going to comment on that death threat.
I probably am going to get a visit from the Secret Service.
Right?
It was halfway out of my mouth when I realized that.
You're like, not again.
Sorry for the disruption of your workday, Donna. But
yeah.
She says it's okay.
At what point is knowingly putting yourself in danger just kind of your fault, though? Right? I mean, if you accidentally died of the disease that you got, at least 100,000 extra people killed. Right. 100,000 human beings are dead because this shithead wouldn't fucking talk about masks appropriately. And 100,000 more will die unless he gets serious about it. And who knows? Maybe this is the magic pivot moment too, right? I don't know.
Yes. For legal purposes, that was a joke.
100%. And everyone knew it was a joke. I knew it was a joke.
Yeah.
Wink? Anyway.
Yeah. In the same fashion as I'm not saying that Jack Mariano is a doorbell licker.
No, that's always been a joke, and it's been elucidated every single time that we bring up the fact that there are vicious rumors that he's a doorbell licker. We say that there is actually no direct evidence of that. We just keep people say that.
But if you have a Ring camera shot of him licking your doorbell, call me. For those of you who aren't in the local area, Jack Mariano is one of our county commissioners here in Pasco County. I saw him argue for real one day that the road to nowhere through a nature preserve is a good idea because cars are good for the environment. Yes, that cars, when they're idling and stuck in traffic, are worse for the environment than cars that are moving on the road. And therefore, we should put the road through the nature preserve because then it would be better for the environment than cars stuck in traffic.
Because trees eat carbon, Greg.
That's a real argument that he made with his actual face parts.
I am very excited that Deb has come up with an even more fucked up theory than any of mine this morning. What if Trump fakes his own death to get out of the legal issues that will come to light when he re-loses his election and moves to Russia?
He couldn't keep his mouth shut that long. There's no way Trump pulls off a death hoax.
That's probably true.
I mean, I say this as a person who knows I couldn't keep my mouth shut. So that's why I haven't done that yet. Yeah, Chet, that's to me that I think it's likely that the dude is careless and got sick.
Yep.
For being an asshole. Just like all the other politicians are, it's a giant liberal hoax, or a master for pussies.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
that's what's happening here.
It's completely and totally plausible. Please don't get it twisted. I'm sticking to the sort of the hack, bunching of data that has only served me. You require evidence corroborating from somebody else, or he's just fucking full of shit.
Yep. Hey, can we shoot a link to PJ? Let me get the link. Do you mind if I invite?
No,
PJ
do it up.
Here?
Get after it.
Because we said we were going to have him on this morning, but other things happened.
Make it happen.
Let me get him the link here. Hang on.
The thing.
So you should vamp while
I was thinking that. That's
the only song I ever sing when I'm doing something else.
I like it. I think that's as hold music goes. It's real good.
It's legendary. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I really we should go back to Casey Marion's point that whether it's true or whether it's not true, it kind of doesn't matter. Voting is going well. At least as far as we know now, the Biden the Harris Pence thing is going forward, which is fantastic. If there are other debates, he's going to get his mic cut off, which is again another reason. Like the debate people said that they're going to cut people's mics off. If they break the rules at all, which is fantastic. And I mean, a few hours after that happens, he tests positive for COVID.
Right. Okay.
And I
PJ,
know I sound like a crazy person. I fucking hate this. I do.
PJ, I sent you a link to our StreamYard clicky joiny thing. So if it doesn't show that you've received the message, I hope that's actually you. It says PJ Plastino lives in Tampa. Pretty sure that's you. But anyway, please click to join if you want to hop in with us. Yeah, Corey, if you handle some comments for a minute, I need a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. So what else? We got news-wise. What? McConnell said yesterday that he never confirmed they were going to vote. Is that about the new thing? Virginia, could you elucidate on that a little bit, please? That would be fantastic, because there is supposed to be, I think, a new package coming out of the House, a new aid package, which, of course, for the record, the House has passed many of them over the last 3 months while the Senate was doing nothing. Yeah, Rob said, will this cause a cancellation of the Pence-Harris debate? That's a possibility, right? I mean, technically, with Pence testing negative, which apparently he has done, it is still recommended by the CDC to quarantine for 10 days. So, because the tests aren't perfect, and so it's just a good idea. So I don't know what they do with that. And like Pence debating Harris, I don't think anybody reasonably think that's going to help them. So if they have a plausible out, it might be worth taking it for them. You had me locking Trump in. Chet, I really don't. Chet said, I think everyone gets one free pet conspiracy theory. Then after that, they start counting against you. I'm brutal with anyone who espouses a conspiracy theory. I honestly feel like I'm pretty justified by literally every piece of actual evidence that we have. I'm running a play that I have been running for 3 years. As long as there is no corroborating evidence, they are lying. And I have never been proven wrong with that. Like, not one time. So is that a conspiracy theory, really? Now, is it more likely, like on a weighted average capacity, that he actually has COVID? That might, you could probably make that argument. All I'm saying is that until we have corroborative evidence, I'm not going to believe it for cause. Yeah, Jeremy said Harris will destroy Pence. I want to see that. I do too. What's up?
Yeah, that's going to be a fun thing to watch.
Oh shit. Okay, thank you, Casey Marion. McConnell has stated he's not set about Senate voting on SCOTUS seat, which I thought he had said literally the opposite.
Interesting.
I mean, they might be trying to save the Senate now, like that. I think McConnell's looking at the end of his reign. I mean, fucking Mississippi, dude. Mississippi? Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
There we go.
A Mississippi Senate seat is in play.
I don't have to prove a negative. You've yet to provide evidence that there are not Sasquatch mining good inside the hollow moon. Prove me wrong. Yeah, dude. I don't have to provide any evidence to disprove something that isn't factual. Although I did just tie my own brain in a knot, so I could be wrong there.
That gives.
I want to be super honest about that. I am now confused.
Yeah.
So
that gift where somebody is looking like this and there's math going on around their head.
Exactly.
That's what's happening in my brain right now.
Exactly what just happened. Like, I think what I said made sense, but now I am not 100% sure. So I'm just going to shut my face and check on the. All right. Oh, so yeah, signals he's open to confirming Supreme Court pick in the lame duck. Yeah, so let's maybe. Sasquatch gold denier. That's me. McConnell signals he's open to confirming Supreme Court pick in the lame duck session. That was yesterday. So, I mean, that's the thing, man. Just no reasonable person thinks that Mitch McConnell's not going to hold a vote on this, in my humble opinion. I think it's at best wishful thinking, unless we got some insanely large evidence to the contrary. I mean, we lost the Senate seat. I mean, that's, I hate Greg's time machine thing because it just hurts my feelings. But in this case, it's totally accurate. All right, yeah. PJ, what is up?
Gentlemen, what's going on this morning?
Man.
Thank you.
So we don't know PJ, but he shows up ready for action with a professional-looking microphone.
He's not fucking around at all.
I have to kind of slight little background. Originally from Philadelphia, musician, artist, and also went to school for broadcasting. But unfortunately, when I graduated high school, that was in 2000, and the Telecommunications Act was signed in 1996. So that kind of killed any prospects of working for good independent radio stations.
Right? Yeah, I'm old enough to have worked in independent radio. So
oh my god, dude, man. You don't know how jealous I am of you guys. Because the closest I was able to get, it was aside from getting interviews in like Philly radio stations for the music and so forth, was I got a tour of the production room when they were running when Clear Channel was running the profit system, like the automated profits or whatever. Yeah. That's the most I got, because their only job fairs were just for sales departments.
Yeah, I was so lucky. I worked for one of the last commercial stations in Tampa Bay, where you could actually, I did a 5-hour evening show, and about 30% of the music they played was my choice. So I got to actually, pull tapes off shelves and play stuff that was
when music directors were music directors.
Yes,
and not marketers.
Before they decided radio was too important to be left in the hand of music professionals.
Yeah, so for the most part.
Yeah. Okay, so enough nostalgia. Yes. Corey loves it when I talk about radio. because I come to this from a radio broadcasting background. Corey comes to it from, I don't know, living in a bus in the Arctic. And he thinks I'm like grandpa when it comes to being nostalgic about radio.
I don't think you're like grandpa. That's not like a cute guess. Just kidding. But I mean, your radio experience has served us extremely well. And you managed to bend like we do crazy, stupid live shit.
I drop F-bombs on the air now, which is something that it took him a year to convince me to do that.
He was terrified.
Not even on a podcast. Not even on a podcast.
No, we would like be recording one of his podcasts that wasn't even airing live. And if I swore, like it was like kicking him in the stomach. Like you could
stop the tape.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, I can't believe you just did that. Like, dude, it's a motherfucking podcast right now. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, so we've moved on from there.
The future is now, old man. No,
that's right. Yeah. There may have been mushrooms involved in that this change of my opinion on this issue. That's
for legal purposes. That was a joke.
Yes, that was also a joke.
Hey, PJ, your mic is a little bit hot. If you have any control over it, it's not terrible at all. But if it's fixable,
check 1 2. How's this, guys? A little better.
That's better. Yeah, it's better.
A little better. Cool. Yep. All right. So the reason we wanted PJ to be on the show with us today is, you were in the newsroom when they were putting together the video package the other day of what happened with the gun-wielding nut job in St. Pete. All right. So I want you to give us the narrative of what happened there, because we have a lot of folks we have some folks that are not in our area. They're not tuned into the day-to-day with the story with the BLM protests and counter-protesters. So tell us what happened.
Okay. Very brief, and you know how this always happens in radio. So very brief backstory, if you will. Everyone's seeing what happened with Saturday night in the gun pool, where the gentleman pulled out a gun and flashed the crowd and so forth. But what also has to be established is that what caused that and what caused this massive surge of counter protesting. The week prior, 2 Wednesdays ago, there was the now viral video from the Tampa Bay Times reporter Josh Figaro. I don't know. I have a Latin last name and I can't pronounce it, unfortunately. But this young reporter put out a tweet with the video that showed this confrontation at a diner's table right there in St. Petersburg, without any context, just showing, oh, hey, things are getting tense. Look, marchers and diners, without going into the detail of those diners turning into counter protesters and engaging the crowd once they walked past, did their turnaround, and then engaged them again. The mass of the crowd just kept moving, and then 2 or 3 folks tried to sit down and talk with them, and then that's what you saw. So that got out and tweeted amongst all of the good old right-wing nut job sphere on Twitter, from the Queen Ann Coulter herself all the way on down. So that led to a lot of the local rabble rousers that we've been familiar with over the past couple months, taking this and saying that, okay, this is what's happening every single night, playing the whole St. Pete equals Portland game, despite the fact that there's been 0 property damage, zero complaint. There's been issues of drivers trying to hit people, more so than any protester trying to go light trash cans or dumpsters on fire. So this is what set the stage for Saturday night, a massive contingency of, we're just going to call them alt-right, okay? Because you're going to find 3%ers in there, you're going to find Proud Boys in there, you're going to find general blood and soil nationalist types in there. Basically, they all have the same kind of commonality and affinity for their support of Donald Trump. So they came out because we want to take our city back. All these folks from Tampa, Sarasota, Pasco County, not from St. Petersburg. So they came down. They met. At first, there was a meeting amongst the marchers at City Hall where one of the leaders gave a great speech saying, look, there's going to be bullshit tonight. I'm paraphrasing this, because we've been used as pawns in this narrative. And now there are white supremacists circling around, and they're looking for us trying to police the town and everything like that. So probably within an hour of that speech and an hour of meeting up and the march beginning is when the contact with the alt-right was made, with the St. Pete group. And they pretty much just, when you look at the tape, and not only the guy that filmed for Stream TV, but also the known troll that's been going into Newport Richie. I know you guys are familiar with John Rich's fella or what have you. So working with those 2 streams and a lot of other photographs, the alt-right crowd was immediately aggressive. They were pretty much just approaching the back of the march And to get to the incident in question, the gunman is in the street and he's pursuing this march after they ran up onto it. And they got up to him, and then they kind of moved to that kind of gate that you saw. The gunman goes and pushes a woman to the ground, takes a swing at one of the two black gentlemen that you see in the video that's all out there now. Then draws his gun, cocks it. He doesn't actually point it at the two young men at first. He actually points it at, I'm pointing to you guys, it's hilarious, but he actually points it to the cameraman. And that is where the now charges are being stemmed from. So the guy wasn't even necessarily pointing because there's talk of a knife. Now let's go over this.
I was going to ask you about that.
Absolutely. We've gone over both streams and we've gone over several video angles. Frame by frame, there's absolutely no knife. You see a flip phone and you see a bandana. The one thing that's kind of flapping in the one photo, I could share screen. I'm not sure I have it pulled up, but I believe the shirtless man. The one thing that you kind of see that's long and flapping is actually his belt. So there was no weapon.
Okay, so I want to. I wish this wasn't important, but what's the vector for the story that there was a knife? Was it the police? Was it a reporter? Was it?
No, they the alt-right crowd, and I guess the guys that were with the gunman, like the people that were like pointing. That's what they're claiming.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's
what they always claim, though, right? Like,
so
I shot this guy 7 times in the back. Yeah, but there was an imaginary knife in his car. Like, It's not like we haven't heard this exact story 100 times.
He was thinking of a knife.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm sure they all were.
That guy wish he had a knife, and so I shot him in the face. Like that.
Okay, this is the next, I think, most critical thing that happened here is police were on the scene. They were told that this happened, and they did not identify or detain this person.
No, basically there was kind of like some handshakes and pats on the back between the gunman literally going like, "Thanks, man," as he's walking past them for the most part, which is ironic because one of the, now granted it's a different jurisdiction, I understand this, but one of the Newport Richey Black Lives Matter protesters and organizers is potentially facing several years for just doing this to get to get an officer's attention. So yeah, I mean, kind of goes to show why folks are marching, but yeah, so they never identified him. I mean, the officer himself actually said some very funny, memeable things to this crowd of like, you're all just mad because you don't like what they're marching for. So he basically told them, go home, and of course they weren't having that.
Wait, he told that to the alt-right people?
Yeah, he basically said, you guys aren't helping. We've been watching them for, it was like, we've been watching them for a while. We know what's up. We know what this is about, but you coming out here is not helping in so many words. And basically just kind of got a jab in there of like, you're just upset because, you're just upset because they're marching for something you disagree with, in so many ways. What was dangerous with that was, aside from the fact that obviously they didn't get the identification of the gunman right away, they have since, as far as of yesterday, because St. Pete,
but only because we blasted the picture of the guy all over the internet,
and St. Pete as well. The activist, and then finally the police department. I think it was after the press conference,
but they didn't say why. That's what bothered me. An incident that occurred, blah blah blah. The incident was dude pulled a gun on protesters and was not identified or questioned by police. They let him slip away. Police chief has now apologized. Oh, we made a mistake. Well, that kind of mistake is going to make us the next Kenosha.
Yes, and and you almost had that. And what happened was after the groups that the incident happened, the person that was pushed to the ground was taken care of and treated and so forth. They moved their way over to the art installation over at the pier. That's what this is the normal parade route. This is not parade route, excuse me, march route. This has been the normal route for months now. City Hall to the art installation at the pier, then everyone goes home. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, they go out, they do their thing. Because they did not detain or get the information of the gunman at that moment, he came back to the march at the pier, and again starts pushing and just starts putting hands on people. Another guy, one of his other buddies, who's also in the frames and footage of the original gun pull, is brandishing brass knuckles. Goes and quickly wraps him up. I don't have knuckles, so forth. I mean, you could tell who was the highly aggressive crowd that night and who was definitely charged up by some good old right-wing nut juice from Twitter. I mean, let's be real about this. I mean, I really, a lot of responsibility falls on this Tampa Bay Times reporter who has since said that, oh, my editor put it up. Well, dude, if your editor has access to your Twitter account and you got a blue check mark, I think I'd change that password, dude. I mean, if that's your personal Twitter account, you got a check mark, dude. Like that's you. Like you're in a way,
whatever's on that Twitter account is your responsibility.
Yeah, editor.
In the same way as the Pasco Republican Party was posting awful stuff on racist stuff on Twitter a few years ago, told me their account had been hacked.
It's gotta love the excuse. I mean, it's the same thing that trolls have been saying because they try to make these sock puppet accounts and forget from old accounts and forget to scrub their actual real name out of it. So then when you confront them, it's like, oh, I was hacked.
All right, for Virginia Rippert in the comments, one of our most prescient observers of things, her comment was, "But I saw a video with 2 people with knives yesterday. What do you know about that?"
No, I haven't seen we had the John Rich's feed and we have the Stream TV feed.
Okay.
There was memes going around amongst like the right wing here in the area that was showing just really grainy one frame shot off of John Rich's. And again, it's showing it's not a knife. It's showing like a bandana, and then one is a bandana, and then the other one's a belt. And then the other you could tell was a flip phone.
All right. So now it turns out
I want to mention this. Now I'm not a lawyer, but
best caveat ever.
Yes, I'm not a lawyer, but you do have to look at the events as it happened, and the events as we call them in that video is push, punch, gun.
Right.
Okay. The gunman approached the crowd, pushed a woman, took a swing, then pulled his gun.
So he was not trying to leave a situation or defend himself from a situation. He followed, pursued, instigated, and pulled the gun to make sure nobody could come back at him.
Right. And these folks, even the 2 gentlemen, were walking away. They're moving with their march. Same with the woman. She was moving with the march and so forth. This guy, again, is pursuing. So even if there was a knife pulled, that knife is self-defense. Because any one of those gentlemen would then be good Samaritans and they would be protecting the woman that got pushed to the ground. So also, one of them could be responding to a guy taking a punch at him.
Right.
Hey, you want to take a punch? Stay away from me.
Right. So early in this conversation, somebody asked if there were diners involved. Did that mean there was soup involved? And that's now degenerated into a long conversation about a right to a well-regulated soup militia is in the Constitution.
Every household will be given a dozen cream of mushroom.
Oh, nice.
That is the standard stock that we need. If we need the broccoli, that's the big guns. We'll let you know. But standard issue cream of mushroom should be good.
Right, the minestrone militia is on the rise.
Yes. The good minestrone.
Did you see the T-shirt from our friend Dave Myers?
I saw it earlier. Yes.
Grenade?
Yes.
That's good stuff, man. We love Dave. I already ordered 2. I ordered 2 of those shirts this morning, one for me and one for the roommate. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on and talking about this because I want us to stay vigilant about the story because I have a feeling this kind of incident, the fact that the guy walked away without even being questioned, that's gonna embolden other people who want to show up and do harm. We know that here in Newport Richey, one of our legal observers, a person that Corey and I have known for 5-6 years now, she got trained as a legal observer. She was wearing all the correct gear, and she's now been doxxed, and pictures of her husband and children have been posted, basically, as a means of threat.
Without saying any names or without any allusions, I think I was kind of quote unquote involved in this because they had sent this person's info to me, making it sound like I was that person. And I believe I was joking with them like, I look like a cartoon character. I look nothing like your man.
Right.
Okay. Like, I don't know how this troll account, because it was one of them that was surfacing.
Well, we have active doxing and threats of BLM protesters in Pasco County right now. And I want us all to be mindful. I had a conversation with my mom last night. My mom is 78 years old. She has like an angry church ladies group that is involved in our homeless issues and human trafficking issues up here. And she says, well, what can we do? I said, I think you and the church ladies need to start showing up for protests.
Yeah. Because what are you going to do? Dox the whole town?
I was like, I was like, I understand that's terrifying, but maybe it's time for us to put our bodies on the line, right? You know, that
more people was going to help. You know what I mean? Like having just even more numbers. And then again, like I said, the joke was, it's like, what are you going to do? Dox the town? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's my neighbor. I already know. Like, yeah, they were standing out there with me. I want to close with this real fast. I promise to be brief because I know you're all getting out of here. St. Pete Police and City Council and so forth have responded. Obviously, they went and they've identified the suspect. We don't know if there's an arrest and so forth or a booking. The mayor came out, had a pretty okay press conference about it. Still pushed this narrative of a knife, which, you know, again, we have not seen. But did some good things of saying, look, the protesters, they're not the mob, and you know, really try to calm things down. City council member, I believe Robert Blackman, though, basically started to make this coming Saturday sound like a scene from Gangs in New York. And the way that he's talking out there is like, oh, you know, people are trying to gear up for this like big violence. No one in the St. Pete side is trying to gear up for violence. They just want to be left alone. But again, ever since like the rhetoric and the situation from last Saturday with the gunman, the right wing does not know how to unratchet itself and stop being so ratchet and calm the hell down with a lot of this. Because
this is the best use of ratchet I've heard in this context. It's,
you know, because you already have the Blue Thunder guys who were the same folks involved with that graffiti mural on Madison Street in Tampa, the ones that have been just going out there and just being this little goon army of counter protesters.
And welcomed by the Newport Richey police, by the way, on the night in question when we had the big problems up here, when after one of our activists got arrested and they decided to walk to the police station, which is only like 4 blocks off of the downtown core. The Blue Thunder guys just mysteriously appeared on a dark side street. And subsequently, we know that at least one Newport Richey police officer was communicating with these counter protesters to tell them where the BLM people were. So I'm pretty sure that there's, if not coordination with the actual department, some personnel within that department are absolutely telling these people where to find BLM protesters up here. That's terribly disappointing. And the sad thing is it has support from the city council and people that live in the city of Newport Richey.
Well, because some of these
they don't want to hear it.
Because some of these folks will look at it as like, okay, well, it's taking care of the problem. We don't care how it gets taken.
Right.
You know what I mean? And believe me, Greg, I wish I had the ability to file a bunch of FOIA requests for all their emails and logins and social media accounts. Yeah.
I have a suspicion that, like, I've known the police chief from Newport Richey for a while, and he ran for sheriff against Chris Nacco as a Democrat within the last 10 years. And I have a feeling this snuck up on him. I have a feeling that this got out ahead of him. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think he's had to respond, and his response has been pretty ham-fisted. And I think Kim Bogart is basically a decent human being who's sort of caught up in this and can't really, you know, he's finding out that some of his officers have. If you'd have told me a year ago that it was Port Richey Police or the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, I'd have been like, yep, that checks out. I would not have believed that Newport Richey would have this issue where they were sharing intelligence information with avowed violent counter protesters. That's a step I didn't expect us to have to take. And then for the mayor, who is a Democrat, and I voted, you know, I supported his candidacy when he ran, to say, well, the guy pulled a gun because of a BLM escalation. How the fuck do you get there? How do you get to, you know, how is a guy pulling a gun on me my escalation? That's nonsense. And I'm really angry at our mayor.
And I've been to the NPR demonstrations, and again, zero property damage, zero. You guys have said this on the show before. I mean, it's ad nauseum, but that's the thing is for whatever reason, you know, folks just think Kenosha is here or this is Portland, and this area is just constantly on fire. I mean, maybe a couple of weeks ago from the fucking weather, but I mean, not from Molotov cocktails and the like, you know? Thank God for fall.
Well, we had a spasm of super angry demonstrations, you know, right after the George Floyd killing. And that was a real thing. You know, windows were broken, fires
and
were set.
A lot of those folks have been arrested.
Right.
A lot of those folks are currently still in prison, especially over on Orient Road. Or jail, excuse me. They're currently in jail still at Orient Road because of the way they're playing the game with the bail, because of COVID and because of the charges and the stakes and so forth. So they got those folks. They got a majority of them. So I don't understand where's, you know, and then like you said, ever since then, it's just been, it's the peaceful folks that are going, hey, jaywalking, that's the worst, apparently.
Yeah, when the police chief tried to make a point about property damage, he pointed to chalk on the street.
In
like,
NPR,
you guys have had fundraising chalk events in the city of Newport Richey where people are draw art on the sidewalk in front of their business in Newport Richey. Guess what? When it rains, it washes off. That's not property damage. It's nonsense. And then we actually caught one of the counter protesters writing BLM in chalk on the street.
No, actually, not without chalk, using
a
asphalt
rock. It was
stone.
Asphalt
stone. So it scuffs it up. Yeah, it scuffs it up even more and worse than chalk would. So, yeah. But the thing about Saturday is look, folks are going out, and yesterday they did what was called just basically a healing vigil. Just get everybody out to the park to one of the parks outside City Hall in St. Pete. Just come together, listen to some tunes. I had to work with my media client, so I couldn't go to it. But the cops showed up, and they handed flyers that were basically saying, if you're in the street, we're giving you a $62.50 fine, and so forth and so on, and coming out and making the you have to stay out of the street now, which is ironic because they wanted them in the street so that they wouldn't interfere with the outdoor dining. Now you're putting them on the sidewalk where they're going to have to walk through the outdoor dining.
Yeah.
So the thing is I just wonder if the cops are pretending to be clever and being like, oh, we're going to get them now and set them up because now the people are going to hate them. You're messing with my dinner. Or they are just so foolish and not realizing you just threw gas on a fire here with this.
Right. Well, this is kind of a trivial aside, but I've seen this before. I lived in British Columbia, Canada, Western Canada for 8 years, and I became part of the burgeoning longboard skateboarding scene out there. Like the largest longboard club in the world is Coast Longboarding, and I was living in the burning hot center of the longboard world. And the funny thing was, the skaters' opinion was, okay, wait, we used to skateboard in the street, and you started confiscating our skateboards and taking us home to mom and dad in the back of a police cruiser in the 70s. So then we got off the street and we started skating on sidewalks and rail banisters and planter boxes, and you started making that impossible. So we went back to the street, and now it's the same. They're chasing you from one place to the other, and they were all like, "Hey, fuck you! We're going to skate wherever we want down the highway." And
and again, I just don't understand why everything was working fine the way they had it. They had the marshal system. They had the support vehicles. There would be some assholes, but you know what? Most of the people in downtown now, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, was it between 7 and 9? Cool.
Yeah, come the marchers.
I'm just going to go 2 blocks up the other way. It's a grid. Okay. It's a giant grid. It's people. And most of the downtown was cool with it. They're very supportive of it.
Right. Do you think there's something where it seems to me like people want this to be happening here because that way we're part of the story?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to transfer what's happening in the very limited areas of Portland and Kenosha and other cities in Louisville to here. They want it to be like that, so it justifies them wanting to act violently.
No, there's there's something. I do think there is something to that, and it's just generally to kind of globalize it a bit. There's this want of the conflict. It's a catharsis. Right. Election day is going to be or whenever the deciding vote is cast or counted or whatever the fuck. Right. That's going to be a catharsis. It's the marshaling of the forces of good and evil and really boiled down to such raw binary tones like that. And the thing is I mean, I say I honestly do not fault the demonstrators. I really, really don't. I mean, the worst that they're doing is just getting in the street and yelling about an issue. That is with everything going the fuck on out there. that is your priority right now. That is what we got to call and marshal the forces for. You know what I mean? That's the, again, with zero property damage. There was Molotovs getting tossed around. Okay, it's a different conversation. But no, unfortunately, that's the case. I mean, there is this need of a catharsis, and if they can sit there, I mean, you have that. I also think there's the opportunism that's happening. I mean, I go back to Josh Figaro, whatever the name was. I do think that was his tweet, and I do think because when I looked into this guy's writing history with Tampa Bay Times, it leans a little favorable on DeSantis. And I'm wondering if this was just this. Now I'm just speculating here. Okay, if this wasn't this young man's chance to jump into the right-wing grifter media game,
get seen a little at a little higher level,
become a little.
Well,
you
said Ann Coulter picked it up, so obviously it got some.
Become a little Tim Pool over here in Tampa, you know, or Pim Tool as we like to call him. You know, become that version. You know, see now he can. Oh, look, it's Portland, and do all that nonsense.
Right.
All
right.
So yeah, and again with the obviously the trolls, they want to be able to just dox folks. So yeah, the last thing I wanted was Anthony Blackman unfortunately made that like them dumb comments.
He's a St. Pete City Council.
Yes. Really foolish comments in, I don't want to say dumb. It's ableist. Foolish, very foolish comments in trying to make this sound like gangs in New York. That is not the case Saturday. The folks that are going out there Saturday and all of us getting down there is straight up to just one, it's now condemning white supremacy. Because at this point, I mean, with everything that happened, even locally, to what is now obviously impacting us nationally from the debate and this resurgence of piss boys, it's now come to these terms. You know, like I said, I'm not making it out to be in such a chessboard manner of this black and white and good and evil and so forth and so on of it. But it's just to explain to folks that, like, in a sense, like, be ready for someone to scream at you. You know what I mean? And the best you can do is there's going to be a bunch of us there ignoring them.
Right.
And that's the thing. But St. Pete police, like they're going to have to do something smarter because I mean, now you want to pull them off the street and put them into these packed sidewalks and so forth. Like it's going to be a bit nerve wracking, but I have a good feeling that it's going to be okay too.
All right. We'll stay in touch with us on Messenger. And if you want to, if there's something happens on Monday or on the weekend and you want to talk about it Monday, we're here. It's not like there's anything else going on.
Yeah.
So,
Corey, I got to ask you, man, because you've been kind of shut out here a bit.
No, that's okay. When smart people are talking about stuff that I don't have any data on, I just fucking let them talk.
What bass you got? You show me the bass.
Oh, it's just a little studio bass. It's not a big deal.
Oh, okay, Ibanez Micro. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I have to.
I have to producer. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Hey.
Oh,
I got it's my Paul Reed Smith.
Okay, you're winning.
Well, no, not really. I play bass, but the bass is over around the corner, and I'm wearing pajama pants. I don't want to get up and frame.
Yeah, Corey's actually quite a talented musician and played here locally. He's in Miami now. Scumbag moved away. Yeah, I hate him for it. Okay. But he's been doing some recording again recently, and it's really good stuff. So I'm excited about the next Corey Cottrell album.
I have to get over that anxiety of just recording stuff and just keep going with it and stop trying to make it perfect on the first take. Like, so if you were to go ahead.
The next time you come on here, because I would love to have you back, we need at least 30 seconds of a recording. Because I hear like millions of people, oh, I really need to get over X. And then if I talk to them 10 years from now, it's going to be the same thing. So
if you want, hang on one hot second. I should be able to send it back. You know what? We could do it next time.
All right, yeah.
Either way, beat to the fire. Like, fucking get it done.
Yeah.
Do it up. Do it. Like, you know, you're gonna.
And I have a creative story about that too. Like buying podcast gear as, oh, I really need a better microphone. Oh, I really need a better tape system. Oh, I really need. And I wasn't doing anything with it. And a coworker and I challenged each other, do something creative over the weekend and come back to work on Monday and share it. And what I did was recorded a friend of mine, you know, playing guitar and singing, and it was bad, but the next one was better. Like, you know, the more you do it, the more rote repetition, then you're not thinking about the tools anymore, you know, and it gets better. And that's what led to me actually starting a podcast. Was I started using the gear for other things and got out of control after that. So
I was working for Guitar Center, so that kind of leads to your gas a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's anybody I know that like painters I know, oh, I need a better easel. Oh, you know, I need to get more paints. Oh, I need better light in my studio room. Like, we always find a way not to actually take out that big blank white canvas and put shit on it. Yeah. And we need, you know, all of us that are creatives need to stop doing that. So
I just self-hate. I'm just like, that sucks. That's fucking what do you fuck that delete? Do it again. You know,
Fred Eater in the comments is producing a really wonderful little one-man show podcast every week, and he's been having this same crisis. You know, like it's hard for him to believe that we all really like his material. Yeah. And so, Fred, listen up. This is all for you, buddy.
Amen.
Yeah, you got to love anybody that does a 15-minute read of The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry on his podcast.
You do. Scientifically, that's 100%.
I was all about it. All right.
That's
all right,
great.
so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much, PJ, for joining us today and giving us a little inside peek at what's been happening down there. We appreciate it.
No worries, guys. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll talk again.
All right. Cheers. And when we wrap up our show, we have a thing that we do. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we jump off here?
I mean, we do have some science stories we should talk about Sunday, but I mean, there's what 30 something days left before the election, so we've been building up for this moment for a minute. So I mean, we may be preoccupied, is what I'm saying. We might be preoccupied. I do want to say Corey Elko commented way up. Just like when I was ranting about my ridiculous / perfectly evidentiary backed theory, that hey, remember when Corey used to have those existential rants on Coffee in the Dock? I sure fucking do, and that kind of navel gazing will not be tolerated.
That was an awesome little show. It was fun. It was a great time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go back to when I feel comfortable talking about that instead of the destruction of civilization.
Yeah, it'd be nice to relax and talk about personal drama. And so
seriously.
All right. Well, we love you all very much. We thank you for joining us today. I think we hit something like 38, 39 concurrents at one point today.
We're over 40 once today. That's good.
Nice.
Yep.
We love that. Please share. Ben Den, I think PJ needs to come to the camp out. There's going to be a camp out.
Also, we need to do a camp out. I think you're right. I was an instant fan of PJ. I think we'll definitely have him back.
Yeah. So we'll be back on Sunday for the Church of Reason sermon in a Minecraft world. We would love for you to join us in the game. If you have Microsoft, or if you have Minecraft Java edition, you could actually join us in our Minecraft world and explore it with us. But we do a little gathering, a sermon about making our lives better that are not necessarily religious. We're not anti-religious as a group. But we do a little gathering on Sunday mornings to talk about important stuff and feelings, and it's fun. So we'd like you to join us. We live stream that on Facebook and on YouTube. And we're back Monday with another #coffee show where I'm sure something will come up.
Yeah. Can you imagine if there wasn't any news this weekend?
Yeah, no news. Let's go back to bed.
Yeah, we're good.
Honestly, I'm yearning for that day. I'm yearning for that day now.
I do have a vague memory of what a slow news day used to feel like. It's like, really, is there anything to cover?
Sitting on the dock identifying fish species. Oh, look, that's a sheep's head. Oh, look, there goes some black mullet.
It's a turfle of fnob dirk mouse.
It's a monkey running down the fucking seawall on the other side of the canal.
Which, for people that are new, that actually happened.
And I'm so mad I wasn't there that day.
Oh my God, that was so fucked up. Yeah. Ginny said all about the church sunrise. I'm so excited that people are coming in to do that ceremony with us now. Sunday mornings at 9:30. It shouldn't work, but it really does. It's a sunrise that happens in the cathedral we built in Minecraft. We observe a moment of silence. We have a bunch of monuments inside the cathedral where we put up gratitudes for ourselves and for anyone who's commenting. And it's like a little moment where we get to come together as a community. And I don't know. I love it more and more every single week. So thanks, Ginny, for coming to share that with us.
All right, so let's get on out of here. I got a little bit of work this afternoon, but otherwise it's a free day. So I'm going to sit around, play some Minecraft and watch some TV and important stuff like that there. All right.
Do it.
Sasquatch is real.